Good afternoon, basketball fans, and welcome back to the Class B podcast presented by the North Dakota Basketball Hub. This is the second episode. Yes, we are back for another episode. Round one was fun. Round two is even going to be better. And some big news today as we kind of get it through the podcast here. All of our podcast episodes, meaning two, have been added to Spotify and Google Podcasts. I'm not sure if everyone knows what that is, but Spotify is a huge listening platform for music and podcasts and all that fun stuff. And Google Podcasts is, I believe, on the computer. You can go to Google Podcasts and just play it straight from your computer. So you can find the Class B podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts right now if you want to. I'm not sure if I'll upload it to iTunes or Apple Podcasts at all, just because I think a lot of people use Spotify nowadays, and I'm pretty sure that there's a free version of the platform out there too. So that's pretty cool. Some big news for us just because, I don't know, I can't remember how many plays we had. I think in the first day or two, I think we had 23 plays on the first episode of the Class B podcast. And so like I said, that's something, right? And obviously I don't want to break the world. I'm not trying to change the way we do stuff around North Dakota, but I just want to build a brand around Class B basketball because I think it is fun. It's all Class B basketball is the greatest thing that I've ever watched. Honestly, high school sports wise, it's fun. The region and the district tournaments are just exciting as the state tournaments, and this year is gonna be even more exciting just because I think even on the girls' side there's a lot of stuff going on in each district and each region, and on the boys' side there's a lot of good teams as well. So it's going to be a fun last few months of basketball here, and once March rolls around, bang, then we're in the state tournament. So in a couple episodes, maybe 2 episodes down the road, obviously, I'll start reviewing the district and region tournaments on the girls' side, but we can go into that a little more down the podcast as we move through here. So today is going to be a shorter episode as we won't dive into the Class B rankings at all like we did last Sunday. However, keep an eye out for episode 3, which will drop probably this coming Sunday evening around 6, 7, or 8 p.m. or Monday morning. So just keep an eye on that, and I'll go into more depth about the Class B rankings on both the girls and the boys' side, as there has been some changes this week, and we'll kind of talk about a few of those changes here in episode 2. Before we get rolling, though, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at North Dakota Basketball Hub. We also have a website with stats, scores, and stories on players and coaches and teams, and that's at NorthDakotaBasketballHub.com. The second half of this podcast is an interview with Trenton girls basketball head coach Bob Turcotte, who has been coaching for the last 21 years, and his Tigers are one of 2 remaining undefeated girls basketball squads in Class B basketball. We talked to Coach Turcotte for about 10-12 minutes, so you won't want to miss that, as that is in the second half of episode 2. All right, let's get into it. Listen, everybody, I've been on Thompson boys basketball team all season long. I've said it from the beginning of the year. I don't think there is a team that's better than the Thompson Tommies in Region 2. And I still do believe that. I truly do believe that they're a deep team. There's a couple deep teams out in Class B on the boys' side, but the Tommies have obviously been ranked number 1 throughout most of the season. Unfortunately, or fortunately, if you're a Region 2 team or another Class B team, I guess if you look at it like that, the Tommies lost on Monday, 64-63 to Larimore. And so there's going to be a new number 1 team here come a few days on Monday. But Larimore's head coach, Jennifer Carlson, drew up a great game plan on Monday to defeat the Tommies. And 6'5" center Luke Tupa destroyed the Tommies inside and finished with 31 points. 31 points against the Tommies. It's a whole heck of a lot against the number 1 ranked team. So in this part of the podcast, we're kind of just going to review a few games that I noticed this past week and just kind of talk about them and nothing too crazy like that. But one thing that is crazy to think about is Hillsborough Central Valley now on the boys' side is they should and they probably will. They will be ranked number 1 come Monday. in the new poll. So, it's just really interesting. I've watched Hillsborough Central Valley, obviously, and from everything that the Burros lost. Granted, they did bring back All-State guard in junior Carson Henningsgaard and junior guard who started last year in Landon Reed, but they lost a lot of stuff on the interior side of their offense and obviously defense. Rebounding guys, Tyler Bergstrom was gone. Jack Cameron's gone. And some shooters, obviously, like Ryan Schofgerbo. But this year, Elliot Rotvold, he has the Burros shooting a lot more three-pointers. And, it is what it is. They're okay. Some nights they look good. Some nights offensively they look, is that the best shot to take? Rush some three-pointers. You live by the three-pointer. You die by the three-pointer. That's an old saying. But junior Patrick Limke has looked at times like a top Class B shooter from beyond the arc. Obviously, last year, most of their lineup was on junior varsity. Oscar Benson and Patrick Limke and Connor Arnerud and players like that. Heck, Colton Anderson, who has stepped up big for the Burros this season, offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, and just playing solid defense. He played some solid defense against Cavalier late in that game. He didn't even play last year. So he's played basketball, but he didn't play last year, so now he's back. He's back on the team. So they're a deep team as well. You have Thompson in Region 2, a deep team, and Hillsborough Central Valley, also a very deep team. But Thompson, I don't know. Thompson's loss to Larimore doesn't concern me that much. They lost by 1 point. Yeah, Luke Tupa went off. Thompson, I don't know. They had some players that played well. Just sometimes you don't bring it. And that's just how it goes. Some nights you just don't bring it. And I know coaches that we've talked to stress that every night, I don't care if you're playing the worst team in Class B or the second best team in Class B, let's say, you have to bring it. You have to bring it every night. And Thompson being the number one ranked team, they have a target on their back. Much like Hillsborough Central Valley, who's won back-to-back state titles, they have a title on their They don't have a title on their back. Well, they have 2 titles on their back. They also have a target on their back this season as well. So Region 2, the Region 2 tournament is shaping up to be one of the greatest. I hate slinging around the greatest, but Region 2 tournament is shaping up to be one of the most interesting postseason tournaments that we've had in the last few years with, Cavalier, Larimore. If I could talk today, it is Friday. Woo woo! And Hillsborough Central Valley and Thompson, obviously, and Grafton. A couple teams. Midway Windows played some tough games as well against some top tier teams in Region 2. So that caught my eye. Obviously, when the number one team goes down, that's going to catch a lot of teams' eyes and people's eyes. But Region 2 championship game, it's going to have that feeling of a state championship contest if it is Thompson and Hillsborough Central Valley. But, there's a lot of games left to be played. Like I said, the Larimore loss doesn't concern me as much because I think Thompson is going to get fired up from this. It's going to light a fire under them. And, hey, we can't lose the rest of the way. We got to continue to grind and continue to crank out W's. So I think that did Larimore do Region 2 a favor by beating Thompson? To be determined. Yes, they did Hillsborough Central Valley a favor and the other 9 teams because they're probably going to be bumped up a spot. But did Larimore do everybody else in Region 2 a favor? Who knows? I guess that is to be determined to see how Thompson responds to the loss from Larimore. Some other interesting games that happened this week on the boys' side. We saw number 4 Kindred lose to number 9 Richland Thursday evening, 51-40 at Richland. Region 1's a toss-up. I really think Region 1 is a toss-up. I give the edge to Richland. Now they've beat a number 4 team, Kindred. They played Hillsborough Central Valley tough. But you look at Region 1 as well, and you see Central Cass. A couple bad losses, a couple good losses if you take into account, if you're one of those people that, that's a good loss there. That's a good loss. They have some good losses. Central Cass has, 2-3 good losses on their schedule last time I checked. You look at Enderlin, the freshman, I'm going to butcher this name, the freshman Hurlburt boys. They're tough to defend and they can shoot. Those big kids, man, they can shoot the lights out in that gym. Obviously Kindred is a solid defensive team, and I think that'll help them in the postseason tournament. Defensively, bringing that defensive intensity and clamping down on their opponents. And another team that's kind of caught my eye, or to keep an eye on, I guess, as we move forward here closer into February and into March, is Oak Grove. Can they make some noise in Region 1? So there's a couple teams in Region 1. I'm not sure. Like I said, I give Richland the slight edge. But I don't want to say Kindred's season is over, because it is absolutely not. But losing by double figures after you just jumped in the top 5 rankings, it's not the best look. Granted, it was against a top 10 team, but Kindred's season is not over with this loss. It's just going to bump them back a few pegs on the rankings. I think they'll stay in the top 10. Like I said, we could talk more about that come Sunday evening when episode 3 drops. On the boys' side, other than that, pretty much everything kind of looks the same. The top teams got wins. And like I said, our episode 3 will kind of dive more into what each team did. White Shield picked up a couple wins and everything like that. So keep an eye out for that. Facebook, Twitter, at ND Basketball Hub. Check out our website as well, www.northdakotabasketballhub.com, for all that type of content as well. On the girls' side, Kidder County and Trenton continue to add to their winning streaks. Now they are set at 16 and 15 games. Both teams have at least one game this weekend. I believe Trenton has 2 games. They have one Friday evening, and then they have one Saturday, and Kidder County just has one Saturday. So, definitely something to keep an eye on there. 2 undefeated teams, the last 2 undefeated teams in Class B girls basketball, looking to pick up a couple more wins this weekend. Velva, we saw the number 4 ranked team, and I think I do think very highly of Velva. I like their coach. They have some good players, obviously, in Emma Passa and Hope Brewer, but Velva ended up losing yet another game. They've lost 2 in their last 6 games, so it's not, they're 4-2 in their last 6. It's not terrible, but they lost now on, I believe this was on Thursday, to number 8 Rugby, 47-42. A good contest, but now the Aggies have lost, like I said, 2 of their last 6 with just 3 games to play. So they need these last 3 games and get some more confidence underneath their belt moving into the postseason. On a sour note, last week I talked about how Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion had a heck of a tough schedule coming up into this week. They played Carrington, and then they had a contest against Oaks. And unfortunately, now the Lobos have dropped 3 straight games with 2 games left on their schedule, and they are 13-4, and then probably wasted another chance to get back into the top 10. I don't think a Lobo team with 4 losses can jump back into the top 10 unless a few things happen. Obviously, unless a couple teams lose here and there, I think the chips have to fall the right way for the Lobos to get back in the top 10. But guess what, guys? Rankings don't mean everything. Region 3 is obviously, I think you give the clear-cut favorite to Kidder County, the number 2 team in the land. I would expect them to come away with that state tourney ticket. However, Carrington is there. The Lobos are a good team, and I absolutely know that they can beat some of those top-tier teams. They can. They just have to continue to play strong, bring that defensive intensity, and just believe in themselves, and they could have a heck of a postseason tournament as well and possibly get in that state tournament. Oaks is a strong team, obviously, because they just beat Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion. And then you also have Linton HMB, who has hung around the top 10 rankings as well this season. So possibly on the girls' side, that's probably one of the toughest regions in Class B girls basketball, Region 3. There's 3, 4, 5 teams who have sniffed the top 10 there. So that's going to be a fantastic region tournament, and we'll definitely get you some outlook on that in a couple episodes down the road. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not like I said, not very far away from district tournaments, and I absolutely cannot wait. There's something about basketball and just sports in general when you get into tournament play, right? When you bust out a bracket and you have 8, 12, however many teams, and you just start filling out who's going to win this matchup. All right, now we have these 2 teams in the championship matchup. Who's going to win, right? So it's always just interesting when the brackets start coming out. My excitement is dialed up 100 notches this time of year when the brackets start coming out. So like I said in the previous in the previous minutes of this episode. In the next couple episodes or so, we'll break down each district and region tournament and try to predict the winners. So that'll be kind of fun. If you guys want to fill out brackets as well, I'll post them on our website at www.northdakotabasketballhub.com. You guys can print off brackets, fill them out. Heck, DM me on Twitter, on Facebook at ND Basketball Hub, or tweet me your brackets, and maybe we can have a contest. And if we get a couple entries, maybe I can give out a couple bucks or a prize, a Class B basketball prize to the winner with the most right. So if you guys want to do that, more power to you. Like I said, maybe I'll put something on Twitter and Facebook too, just to get the ball rolling on that. But like I said, a couple teams have a few games left, so we're not there yet. But just put that in the back of your noggin and think about that. So, all right, guys, thanks, and girls, obviously, thanks for listening to the first half of episode 2. Let's get into the interview with Trenton girls head basketball coach Bob Turcotte. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Hope you enjoy the interview. You girls are one of 2 remaining undefeated teams in Class B girls basketball. How have you been able to bring that consistency and energy night in and night out to win games?
Well, I don't know. I just think it starts with the off-season commitment the girls have. This group of kids actually has been, our juniors, 2 of them have been starting as 8th graders, and then the same thing for 2 of our sophomores. They started as 8th graders too, so we knew we had to get to running when these girls got older, and they've competed well when they were younger. They were up in regional tournaments those years as well. So I don't know. It's just we put a lot of time into the game. We play all summer, and we figured this would be the start of it. Last year we did some good things. We were able to get to a district championship game last year in a regional semifinal. So that's as sophomores and freshmen. So we currently have a good group of kids. They work hard. They play all summer, and there's some athletic kids. So it's a good group of kids.
Definitely. Who are some of those athletic kids that you have? Who are some of your playmakers?
Well, leading the way for us, 2-time All-Staters, Katie Hovey. She was All-State as a freshman, second team All-State last year as a sophomore. She leads the way for us. She's our floor general, point guard. Sees the floor very well, among the best point guards in state of North Dakota, Class B or Class A. And, she's a good all-around player. Makes her teammates better. We have 2 twins, the St. Pierre twins. They're sophomore girls. Alyssa they're both 5'7". Alyssa's a very solid all-around player. She's probably putting in 16 points a game, leading us on the boards. And her sister's a little different player, but she's a double-figure scorer, good shooter, just a solid defender. So those 3 kids are our core kids. And then we have a freshman, JC Turcotte. She's scoring double figures for us too. She's a 5'9" forward. We have a balanced team. We play 8 kids. We have a little bit of height, a lot of speed. We play good defense. It's a fun group of kids to coach.
Definitely. Last season, you guys won 16 games. You guys have a busy week, like you said, today, and then Saturday as well. If you guys beat Beach today, it'll be your 16th win to tie last year's win. And obviously no losses on the year this year, but 7 last year. Just kind of how have you been able to, improve? I think you guys ended last year on three straight losses, and now to improve now on 15 straight wins.
Well, we've had some pretty good competition. Like you said, we've been young. We're still young.
Yeah.
We don't have seniors. So when we didn't have seniors last year, so when we're playing as young kids these previous years, you get into the quality games. We were very competitive in those games. I was very proud of the team last year. So we're just building and taking off of last year. Now it's our kids are now hitting that sophomore, junior, senior level where they're no longer the younger kids, and that maturity, that experience, and they've always competed tremendously well at their own age group. So we can see this coming where we're going to be a contender, and just the experience these girls have when you play in district championships and regional semifinals, and then you play 30-plus games in the summer, and you're playing good competition all summer long, and you have several kids playing AAU, that starts to click in. So, and we work hard, we practice hard, and it's nice too. For me, this is my 21st year coaching, so I'm not green with these girls. We kind of figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and they really plug into the system nice. So it's it's a fun thing we have going. So I don't know. I won't say we expected to be undefeated, but we got good competition that we're currently playing. We've had a good stretch of games here where we've played some nice teams. We got Beach coming up tonight, a good team. And then we go to the Minot Auditorium on Saturday and play Rugby, who's also a ranked team. And, we play a lot of those teams in the summer, so it's nothing new to us. We play a lot of good teams. So.
You obviously you said you've been coached for 21 years. Where does this team rank as far as?
Hard to say. Their story is unwritten. They still got a ways to go. I've been blessed enough to be in 1, 2, 3, 4 at this school to go to 4 state tournaments in this tiny school. So, and in girls programs in the past, they're different. We've had some good girls teams, but I think when it's all said and done at the end of their careers, we'll see how it plays out. Tournament time's what happens, but they have the potential to be among the best groups to come through our school's history. But you got to take care. You got to do well, and you got to do well in the postseason. We'll see how far it can go. Hardest thing in North Dakota is to get to a state tournament.
Yeah.
You got 110 other teams competing for it, and you only get one crack at it. There's no playbacks in the regional round, and especially for a school our size. If you take a look at what's currently in the top 10, I'll guarantee you everybody there has got an enrollment that's 2 to 3, 4 times our size.
Yeah.
So we got to make our run when we get it. We currently have a good group of athletes, and we're proud of our kids. They make our community proud, and keep playing hard, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to make our go at it, and things fall in place. We get some breaks. You never know what can happen.
You're ranked 7th in state right now. Do you guys talk about that ranking at all, or not so much?
No, we don't talk about it. We know we're among the top 15, 20 teams in North Dakota. We don't talk about that stuff. We just play. We try to go out each day. And our main focus, I stress with the kids, is we all have jobs to do on the floor. We try to do them each night the best to our ability and play as hard as we can. And if everybody does that and we do that, good things always happen. We're just working hard to get ready for the postseason. It's good recognition, though, for the community and for the kids. And it's not to win 15 in a row. That's pretty hard to do. We weren't, like I said, planning on it. But what the heck, we don't pay attention to the rankings.
Saturday, like you said, you guys go to the Minot Auditorium shootout versus Rugby.
Well, I think the biggest challenge that we're going to face for us is it's going to be our 4th game in 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
But we've rotated our kids. We're a fit team. Playing in a new environment on a Big 4 against a good team, and we got the opportunity to do that. We'll have to travel 2 hours to play, which is good for us, and go play in a different environment. I think that'll be good for us. But most importantly, to play a strong, top 10 program in North Dakota, and we'll see where we stack up. I think we'll stack up just fine. It should be a good matchup. We've seen them in summer camps over the years, and we know their program enough, and you can look and see how they fare against other teams that you've played and things like that. It should be a good ball game. We'll see how it goes, but it's all about the experience, and we're hoping whatever comes out of it, it'll just help us for the tournaments.
Obviously, you don't want to look ahead to the state tournament, but 4 games in 5 days, that has to get you ready for at least a postseason tournament, correct?
Well, our plan was pretty much we'll try to end strong on our season. Our district tournament is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So this preps us 2 weeks out from it. I think it's a good builder for our kids, and that's how we look at it. That's the only reason we really wanted to do it that way. Play a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mimic a district tournament, and 2 weeks out you get an idea, then you get a week to get ready for their district. So I think it's really good for the program, but it's more or less just for the districts.
Does your team roll with any team motto or anything like that?
Pretty much just hard work pays off. That's what we talk about all the time. Hard work pays off.
Cool.
These kids put the time into it. They put a lot of hours in, and it's all throughout the year, and they're passionate. And that's the best thing about having a small school with very few numbers, but everybody wants to do well. They're always at everything, and they put the time in. That's the reason for their success. Really, is they put in more floor hours than most everybody that we're running into. So they just play more.
You've obviously been around for a while, 21 years. Once those district tournaments start, what's the number one piece of advice that you're going to give your team?
Oh, it's kind of what I mentioned earlier. You try to make the game simple for the kids. It's not a complicated thing.
Mm-hmm.
real abilities and skills come to fruition, and everybody's doing that, generally you play well. You take care of all the little things that type of stuff does, like working hard on defense, running the floor, sprinting for fast breaks, knowing what your job is offensively, those types of things. I think the biggest thing for us when it's going to come down to that is just, be focused on those little goals that we set each game, doing your job. That's the biggest thing. And if teams do that, doesn't matter the sport, you do your job and you focus in on it, usually you're going to have pretty good success when you have some talent.
Cool, very cool. 2 more questions here, Coach. Who's a sneaky team or a surprising team this year in Region 8 in your mind?
Well, I won't say there's any surprises for us. I said it from the get-go. There's 5 quality teams in the region. In District 15, which is our district, there's Partial, who's a very good team. We had a very strong game with them on last Tuesday. They're a good team. Quick, good ball playing, good ball handling, some size, good matchup. Also in our district, Mandaree, they've had some injuries this year. That's the team we faced in the regional semifinals last year. They have good height, good guard play. They returned basically their whole team from last year. So, and there's us. So I feel our 3 teams. And then out of District 16, you have Divide County, who's a solid defensive team. They're hard to score on, but they get themselves some 50 points. They'll win a lot of games. They're all big 5'10s, their whole lineup. And then you have Kenmare and Stanley, who there's a 3-way tie up there actually right now for first. So I just feel there's probably 6 teams that can go either way, but comes down to playing. Got to get the job done when it counts, and we're excited to get there. We're hoping our experiences from years past pay off with a little extra motivation to take the next steps, and we'll see how things pan out.
Final question, Coach. You talked about how the community has been supportive of your girls. What's the gym atmosphere been like at home games?
Oh, it's pretty cool. We get real good crowds. It's really nice to see. And we try to incorporate our younger kids within the school system. We run our 3rd and 4th grade Little Tigers program, and we have about 30 kids participating in that, boys and girls. So we get them to come in and play at a lot of the half times of our JV and varsity girls and boys games actually too. So that helps put people in the stands, but more or less, a small town like ours, we're known as a basketball town in this corner of the state, and the community's been great. We've had, I won't say full houses, but 3/4 full for most of our games, and good atmosphere, good cheer groups, and a lot of folks coming out to watch the kids. And I think that's big. So that's what it's about for the high school experience. These kids are representing their school, their families, and of course everybody in the community, and our community sees that, and they come out and support the girls. It's pretty cool too.
Awesome. All right, Coach. Hey, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. All right, thanks everyone for listening. Special shout out to Bob Turcotte of the Trenton girls basketball team, and good luck to everyone on that squad the rest of the season. Episode 3 will be back on Sunday around 7 p.m., so follow us on Facebook and Twitter at ND Basketball Hub, and check out our website, www.northdakotabasketballhub.com, for all the latest and greatest Class B basketball, both girls and boys, content and information, scores, standings, stats, everything Class B basketball. Check out our website. Thank you again for listening, and we will talk to you soon, hopefully on Sunday, with a little more Class B rankings talk and a look into the next week of Class B basketball. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace.